Hi there, welcome back. You join me here at the first stage of doing this coupler, as I'm just finishing off masking off the windows protective screens. Simple job to do, just use some Tamiya masking tape, just like any other masking project. And a sharp knife. This is the Swan Walk with the new blade in it, and these pieces of acrylic for the windows are really easy to mask and cut. I've used the end of a filling tool just to press the tape into the corners, and it indents where you need to cut. So we're just going to finish this one off, and then this is the last one to do down there. It's probably easier to do it this way than trying to actually paint them separately from the model, and then they're all a consistent colour and you're not taking paint off as we try to fit them. Right, let's try this. There we go. Good thing about this Tamiya tape is it doesn't go hard and stick and never get it removed again, like ordinary masking tape. There are other versions, but this is freely available. Most hobby shops and e-models sell it in different sizes, with and without dispensers. I haven't got the dispensers, I'm a cheapo. I've just got the rolls themselves. And that's that done. I've done the inside as well, and now we'll put it on the cupola. Where's it at? Right, let's move the camera back a little bit so you can see what's going on. Here's the cupola, or the turret, the bit that goes on the top of the Jeep. You see that I've already put these in. I've done these, and that was just the last one I was doing. Now, a few things about this first. It comes on its own in a plastic bag. It's not on a sprue, so it's in the box. So there's no cutting off or anything to do. However, what I did find inside, if we can see here, there are quite a few injector marks which were really quite serious. And also in the top here was some engravings, some mouldings of the part number and the model. So I've just taken my sanding stick and taken them off. I've used some squadron putty just to fill in the injector marks, and then using various grades of, again, sanding sticks, just took them down till they were nice and smooth and ready for painting. Now, another thing about this, something I don't really like, is the way that these windows go in the model. If you see here, there's actually some little lugs. Can you see the lugs on there? And they fit in these gaps here. Now, yeah, they're fine, they do fit. We could just put them in for now. Put this in here for now. But when we put them in, we go back to the inside, and these lugs are horrible. They're all proud. They detract from the realism of the model. If we look in the book itself, if we go back to the book, our reference book that we've been building from, here you can see how the window sits flush. There's no big lug in there. It's probably been a part added because it's been adapted from another model, a toy. So what we're going to do is file these down. but once we file them down, there won't be any way to hold it in, so stick them in with some clear fix. This is a rather old bottle I've got, and it shows you how long it lasts. I've had this for years. So that's what I did with the front armour plate. I've actually used the clear fix to stick these bits in, and then when the glue's dried, I've just filed down these lugs, and I think that once the paint goes on, it'll colour those lugs and it'll look a bit better than it did. Right, so I think what we'll do now, I'm gonna take all these out, glue them in because they're only temporary in place at the moment. Glue them in, let the glue dry, and then we'll get over to the spray booth and give it a coat of paint. Alright, see you in a moment. Hi there, welcome. Here we are over at the spray booth. I've given the coupler, the turret, the cupola, a coat of undercoat. I've used, primer. I've used the Mig surface primer, the desert sand primer. It gives it a yellowy sort of sandy colour, and it's really a perfect base for putting the final base coat on, which is the US modern vehicles. We've seen that before. One of the things that does strike me about this vehicle is that I think it's an ideal candidate to do some panel lines on, like the guys doing the aircraft world. If you saw me doing the Hawker Typhoon, we did some pre-shading. Now I think this vehicle is an ideal candidate for that, so that's what we're going to have a look at now. As you see, the primer has already covered the issues that we'd seen before with the ejector marks. I've taken the lugs out as well on the windows, and it's all ready to go really. So what we're going to do now, I'm sure you've seen it before, but if you're new to the E-Models videos and such, and you want to see a little bit of post pre-shading done, that's all we're going to do. So all I've done is I've filled the airbrush with just some black primer, and we're going to go along and just pick out some of these areas where I think it would look good, some pre-shading. Excuse me a minute, I'll just turn the extractor on, see how noisy it gets. So, right, here we go. Just a matter of picking out the lines. Hope you can hear me above all this noise. Just a matter of picking out the lines. Don't need to be too perfect about it. Don't worry if you get them all blotchy or spidery, because as you know, we can take them out, take any mistakes out in the final coat. I think doing it this way will just give one or two of the edges a little bit of depth, and it's going to take the blandness away from the sort of monotone colour. Just nice, slow. See, it was spidering it there a little bit. It's gone on a little bit too thick. Not to worry, we'll pick it up again. I think as well, if we just underneath these windows, that's what we're going to call them, we could just give a little bit of a shadow effect. See how paint's pulling through. Leave that for a minute, we'll come back to that in a moment. Just underneath, just to give it some shadows when we give the final coat. And these raised bolts and rivets, and you see here, once we've got the final coats on, it'll be ideal for doing some pin washes. So it's spidered there, don't worry about it, we can get rid of all that on our final coat. Now, going over to the main body of the vehicle, I've also give that a coat of paint as well. If you can hear me, I'll tell you what, I'll turn the spray booth off. Find the switch. There we go, turn that off. Turn the compressor off as well. Right, here we are. What I've done, I've given the body a coat of primer as well. Very simple, just a matter of working out which way to get it in the booth, in front of the airbrush. Just like spraying the real body, the whole a real vehicle really. And also on the inside, what I've done, I've put the inner wheel arches in, and now these have required some filling in here, like we did on the pin marks in the turret. I know they're going to be behind the wheel, but they are quite high up. They're not a great issue, but I think they do stand out a little bit, just where the wheel arches clip into the body of the vehicle. It looked a bit naff really, so I've just filled them in, put some filler in them and smoothed them out a little bit. Also, what I've done in here, as you can see, I've given it a coat of black inside, because once the photo etched grill goes in there, it's gonna leave a sort of a, if you paint it the same colour or not paint it at all, it's going to leave a lighter colour behind the grill. Where's the grill at? Here it is. I haven't cut it off the photo etch. I haven't cut it off the sprue yet, but that will go in there. And it's quite see-through. It's quite see-through, so if you leave anything light in the inside, there's a little bit of touching up to do here yet, but I'll finish that all off. It'll look, you know, well, my idea is to paint it black so it sort of darkens everything down a bit and looks a little bit better looking, if you can see the grill. It's a pity the detail has been missed out. There's no engine or anything inside it. Just shortcomings by Trumpeter really, although I don't think it's there. It wasn't actually them. I believe Oshkosh wouldn't give them access to the engine bay. Anyway, that's the colour of that. I'm going to continue spraying with this. I'll probably give the vehicle itself its final base coat. Well, what I'll do, I'll pick up these areas here with some pre-shading around here, get that done, come back and have a look, and then we'll go on to something else. Alright, let me go and get this done, because it's quite a bit noisy and all horrible and things like that, and you can't hear what I'm saying, but I'll see you in a moment. Welcome back. Just a quick 5 minutes to have a look at the way we've done this. Looks a little bit strange now with the black striping all over it, but hopefully it should improve or add to the appearance of it when we get the base coat on. Filled up. Turn the compressor back off. Yep, we filled up the little spaces we forgot about in there, and that's all dark inside now, so hopefully when we're looking through the bottom or looking through the grill, it should just be a dark void. Right, okay, let's get back to the bench and we'll have a look at doing something else. At the moment, I don't know what, but by the time we get there, we'll have worked it out. See you in a moment. Well, here we are back at the workbench, back from the spray booth, and we're going to have a look at doing some weathering on the interior. Just a minute, I've got company, haven't we? Yeah. Somebody sat at the edge of the bench watching. This chicken likes company. Anyway, if she makes too much noise, she'll have to go. Yeah, sure, okay. Can we have some quiet in the background, please? Right, before we, guess what? Right, hang on a minute. I'll just get rid of the chicken. Okay, she's gone, well, for the time being anyway. Let's have a quick look, just as a recap, what we've done in the spray booth. I've gone on and done a little bit extra. We've finished the turret. What we've done with this, since you've seen it, I've just taken the masking off the windows. The pre-shading didn't really work out as I was expecting, so I've got a little bit harder and just give it a deeper colouring of paint. It's still a little bit visible just underneath, but it wasn't really what I was expecting, so I think we could probably do a little bit more in post shading. The gun itself, this isn't quite fixed just yet, I don't think. Really simple to do. It was just given a base coat of primer of matte black, and then that was gone over with, just trying to find the paint, it's gone over, it's just been brush painted with Viero gunmetal, as simple as that, and it's given it a nice sheen. The ammo box, given a coat of green, and just picked out the shells in the top there. Oh, the chicken's come back, never mind, we'll just ignore her, she might go away. If you see the on the handles here, can you see in there? Now that's just been a coat of Bakelite from the Tool Colour set. Mig. Oh, this chicken. Mig Bakelite, and then I've gone over that, just give it a brush over with Tamiya Smoke. That gives it that wooden effect. I know that some of these weapons do have black ceramic plastic type handles, but I've picked these out in sort of a wood. Right, hang on a minute. Shut the door now. She's looking for some way to lay an egg. Right, so that's that done. We've done the gun. It's all ready just to final fix in there. That's the turret done. The body itself, as you saw, once again, as I said, I've decided that the pre-shading wasn't really working, so I've gone across and just taken most of it out. The windows, I'm not really that happy with them. I've given them a blast of Viero smoke. I can't find it now. It's somewhere around. Yeah, Viero smoke 70939. And that's given the windows a bit of a brown tint. If I can find the book. Where did I put the book? You can see that the vehicle does have a brown tint to the windows. It doesn't have any tint in at all on the turret. Let's see if it shows it a little bit better on the inside. I'm sure I've seen there. Just on the inside, there's like a brown tint to the main armoured windows, which Tamiya Smoke seems to do the job quite well. I don't know whether I'm really happy with it myself. I've just airbrushed them. if it had gone any deeper, it would have blanked out the windows completely, but just giving it a thin coat, it sort of left it looking like it's airbrushed. But I think when we come to weather that up, we'll put a sandy dust on the windows and make it as though there's a windscreen wipe across them. Anyway, that's caught up on what we've done in the spray booth. We're ready to get on to the next stage, which is weathering the interior. Here it is. We need to get this done before the next stage, which is actually fitting this into the bodywork itself. So if we do it now, it'll make things a little bit easier for us to do it. Right, what we're going to use, we'll use some Mig Pigments sand. There we are, 3012. We'll use light European earth, P415, and we'll also use fresh rust. Come back and focus. P416. That, you might think, rust, why rust? But if you look at the colour of it, that one, it leaves it gives the pigments, it mixes the pigments together and gives it that sort of a reddish, darker, sandy type colouring, which I think works quite well. Right, we're also going to need to fix it some tobacco thinners. Right, let's have a look at mixing some of this up. We're going to really apply it as a dust. The doors of the vehicle will open and close, the wind will blow the sand in, and as you know, when you've been to the beach, that sand gets everywhere. So there's a couple of ways we can apply it. One is just by picking it up. Just pick it up on a brush, on a dry brush, and just dust it in. Just sort of put it in the areas that you think you're going to want it, and then with another brush, just brush it off again. Now this sort of effect, this dust will, as you know, it will accumulate in the corners. The dust itself will act as a bit of an abrasive, but unlike sort of World War II vehicles, when the vehicles were in constant use for months on an end, these type of vehicles will probably be only used on a short, quick exercises, journeys, and after a couple of days, maybe a week or two, they'll be back in the motor pool, where I'm sure that any decent motor pool sergeant worth his salt will be having them cleaned out and maintained, so they're not going to get, well, personally I don't think they're going to get the wear and tear like you would see on a World War II tank. They're not in the field. Well, they'll take a battering, yeah, they'll take some wear and tear, they'll take a battering, but I think generally they'll be kept. And once again, going back to the book, let's just move this out of the way a minute so we don't knock everything about. We could see that, let's have a look at the interiors. We could see that from the interior shots of this vehicle that's in the field. See how sort of dust and the grime is caught in all the corners, but generally the seats, the metalwork is sort of pretty clean, pretty unworn, and that's the sort of effect we're going to go for. So we're just going to have a subtle type of weathering. So we can pick this up. I've already done one side here. I don't know if you could see the difference, how this is dusty and this isn't, and that's just by just lightly brushing the sand and the dust on. I'm picking colours up on the colour palette. I've got the 3 here, and just mixing them will give us lots of different tones. And just brush it on, so it sort of gathers as it would naturally on the tops, behind the switches, and then give it a blow off. See how anything else, any extras, we could just take a dry brush and just brush it off. Now to hold it, we'll use our thinners. There's a pipette somewhere. I do have lots of things around here, but it's one of these days when I can't find anything. Not wanting to contaminate the rest of the bottle, just take a small pipette, take a bit out of there into one of your little basins, and that we'll just use that. So we've got the rest of the paint, the rest of the thinners all nice and clean, and then we'll just pick up with another brush, just pick up and fix, just let it drip and run. It'll change the colour. It'll change the colour of your pigments a little bit. It'll make it go darker. You'll think, oh, what have I done? But once the thinner dries out, it'll fix that pigment. Now let's do the seats as well. We put some on there. And see what we're doing here, we're just trying to recreate where the sand, the dirt would gather. Now once these are in the vehicle, they're actually not going to get touched, so they're not going to be really worn off. But we can also, right down here, and I haven't got my pointy stick, right down here we can put some bigger accumulations of the fix of the pigment to give it that, I'll come back into focus, there we go, to give it that look of maybe where the gravel, the sand has gathered in the corner and made it a little bit more lumpy, so a bit more fixer on there. Oh, excuse me. Can we see how it changes the colour? But once it's gone and dried out, it'll come back. Now we can do some chipping, slight chippings around the edges of the equipment, such as the centre consoles in here. We could do a little bit of chipping in there, not too much, because as I say, I think this paint, this modern day paint, will be far more resistant to abrasion than the old stuff. So just moving some of this stuff around just to get it where we want. I'm picking some more up and give it a rub where the guy's boots will have been. It's going to lighten the deck up a little bit, and push some in the corners and back with a fix. Because the boots will be wearing and bringing in muck and dirt, and you can play with this until your heart's content, moving it around and fixing it in. A bit more of a mix. some over here I think. Try and get it in the creases where the sand would gather. We could show it out being on operation, so it will get a bit dirty. It won't have been back to the motor pool yet. There. And that's it. That's about how we're going to do this. Very lightly, just dust and good dirt, not much paint chipping. As I say, we could probably do a little bit on the steel work on the centre console, but other than that we're not going to do much. And that's really all we're going to do. Oh, I picked up the wrong one, never mind. Just put that in there. Once again, we've already put the fixer on here, so we can brush that off again. There, give it that grimed up look, and we'll keep working at it for a little bit until we're ready. You see down here, I don't know if you could see in there, just right in the corner. Let's find a pointy stick. Right down in the bottom, we can see the foot pedals. Can we? Right down in the bottom of the foot pedals, we've brushed some of this sand into the grooves on the onto the pedals in there, and we can't see it there. And it's taken quite well, and it looks quite good. Anyway, I'm going to carry on and do this, then we'll have a look at sliding this to the interior, and we're all ready to go. Alright then, chicken's out of the way, got some time to myself, and see you in a moment. Okay, welcome back. Here we are, we're at the final stage of this part of the video. What we're going to do now, we're going to put the interior, the seating, into the body itself. As you saw when I left you, I was on with the weathering, and I've touched parts of it all up. You can see around the seats and such where I've put the sand and the dirt. A little bit of dry brushing, just this area here would probably be where the, if you can see that in the glinting in the light, there's probably where the gunner, he would stand. He does have a cradle to sort of sit or lie back in, but he'll probably stand on that to work the turret gun. I finished the radio set off with some tubing just to represent sort of connections and aerial cables, and we're ready to go. The bodywork, the gun and the turret has gone on the top. It's very straightforward, easy to do, and it sits in a sort of a ring in there. Just by following the instructions, it's fairly easy to do. And now we're going to go and put this in. Now it is a bit of a fiddle because I've jumped ahead a stage and I've put the inner mud guards in. That was so I could sort of prime and colour everything all together. It's made things a little bit more difficult to get this interior in, so stand by for a bit of messing and a bit of fiddling as it goes in. So let's have a look about where it goes. Now the idea is that this edge here should match up with this edge here. So we'll see. If there's any swearing, I'll bleep them out. Right, now I have had it in and I've taken it out, but it does go. You need about 3 or 4 hands just to stretch it and move things about. Just take it easy. It's a tight fit, it will go. You need to check that just checking that the seats and these parts are all in. There's something stopping it somewhere. Could be that one. Don't push if it don't want to go, it won't move, so just by pushing it means that you'll just break something. Have a look in. Something resisting at this side. Now we look like we're a little bit out here. Back to the front, have a look. Now what you'll find is that these upstands that were standing up here, there's little like lugs on them, and they will actually drop into these hinge locators, and they'll sort of stop things moving. So just trying to get this together. Where's it stuck at now? Of course we've got to be careful now because it's all gone together. Just hopefully I won't break anything on camera. Right, that's it, it's moved forward, and I think, by golly, I think we've done it. It needs to go up a little bit more. That's at the back. The front just needs to go up and it will slot in. So the dashboard will go up to the windscreen, or the windshield as you Americans might say. Sorry, I'm trying to do it and keep it in shot as well. So there we are, it's in. Now I've just got to find some places to apply some glue because I don't want this dropping out. Obviously some along there and along these inner sills in here, and that should hold it in. And there it is, the inside, all looking fairly, as my old driving instructor used to say, tickety-boo. New word for the week, tickety-boo. Try it out on your friends. There we go. We'll get that glued in, as I say, and looking good. There's a radio looking good inside there. Right, there we go. Well, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, and I didn't swear. Well, not on this time anyway. Right, there we go. Now that, when that's glued, let's bring the chassis in. We'll sit about, can we see? Let's lower it down and you can have a look. Oops, there we go. It's a beast, isn't it? It's huge, just for a Jeep, for want of a better word. It'll sit in there somewhere like that. I've just got to be properly located, but this thing is massive. Can't even get it in shot. There's a hand, that's how big it is. Alright, there we go. Exciting times next time, because we're going to look at put the back end, well certainly the doors, maybe the back end. We're going to do some lighting on the front. We'll fill these gaps here. That's before we'll button it down to that. And then it should be about finished or built anyway. And then we'll probably have a look separately at doing some exterior weathering. Right, but that's about it. So if you want to keep up with me, if you're not already following me, have a look at Skipper's Scale Models. If you're following this from YouTube, go across to emodels.co.uk and have a look at the website, and follow us on the Facebook page as well. Send us a like, send us your questions, send us your comments, and look out for us next time with another build of the Oshkosh M-ATV. So it's Teddy here from eModels. Thanks for watching this time. Bye now.